Welcome to Gluck's Gym version 4.0. We started in the back bay with no lighting and no idea what we were doing. After a few years, we expanded into the side bay of the garage, and eventually I took over the entire space. But as a true American and home gym owner, I always need more. So we added about 600 square feet onto the front of our garage, put in new flooring, including a turf strip down the middle, and the entire project went off without a hitch. We ran into absolutely no problems along the way. This is the new Gluck's Gym. This is the gym that you built. If you've watched any of our videos, gave us a like, subscribed, joined our Patreon, or used one of our affiliate links, you helped us build this space. None of this would exist without you. So thank you so very much. This video is going to walk you through the entire build process from start to finish, and we'll talk about everything that happened along the way. It is a bit of a wild ride though. If you're building your own home gym, whether you're literally building a new space or adding on like us, or just planning your space out, this video should help you as you'll learn from our many mistakes. Also, if you ever wondered why we didn't release content on the channel some weeks, well, this is why. That and, a big construction project with a toddler and a newborn has been an adventure, to say the least. This space I'm standing in is just over 1,000 square feet. The back bay, behind that wall we just had put in, is actually where I started this home gym. If you watched our original videos from years ago, first off, I apologize for how bad they were, but that 180 square feet was the entire gym. Now it's walled off for storage because I might have a problem with collecting too much equipment for comparison videos. So where are we going from here? This is clearly not a finished space. We have big plans for it. So if you want to see a full updated tour with Winnie and I, let us know and subscribe so you don't miss what we've got coming. But the channel isn't going anywhere. It's still just Winnie and I running this thing, and unless our kids want to take it over, that's how it'll always be. I put every dollar I've made on this channel back into it, and I had to call in just about every favor I had to get this project done. So let's start where it all started to go wrong, the beginning. Apparently, we live on top of a glacial graveyard because all there is out here is rock, which was a fun surprise to us, but it's not the only reason the original 6-week timeline for this project has stretched to over 6 months. But we got through it. That rock never stood a chance. So then it rained for like 2 weeks straight, and we had a pretty sick swimming pool for a while there. If you don't mind swimming in mud, rock, and rebar. Fun fact, I actually did fall into that hole one time. We persevered though and started pouring the footings, which were pinned to the rock because we couldn't get through it since this yard is a mirage. As a sick joke, someone put a tiny bit of dirt on top of this rock mountain that we live on. You keep going though, nothing was gonna stop us. And by us, I mean our contractor and family friend, Dave. Let me be clear, all I did at this point was run the video camera and probably bother him way too often. This man is a saint though. Everything that could go wrong with this project did, and through the entire thing, he's been the most laid back and honest person we could have dealt with. Next, it was time to lay the block foundation, and everything was finally going well, except, oh yeah, it rained for another 2 weeks, and I'm sure it was a massive pain having to level everything because of the rock ledge. Eventually though, we did catch a break and the floor was poured, which was really exciting because it felt like we were finally making progress, which makes this a good time to give you a super insightful lesson about construction projects. So here it is. Don't start a big project when you're about to have a baby. I'm not sure why, but it seems to really complicate things. Anyway, for some reason I got really distracted and forgot to film for a little while. So wow, would you look at that building pop up out of nowhere? It's like we were gone for a few days and it just appeared. This is where you might be able to see our plan come together. We added 20 feet to the front of the garage to create more space so we could park our cars in the garage. I'm kidding. Who parks their car in the gym? It's for more equipment. To make this work, this huge beam was put in to support the roof and create this open span. They had to build up a temporary wall and then literally knock out what used to be the front of our garage and cut out and remove the old beam piece by piece. By this point, you've probably noticed in these clips we're showing that the gym is still fully, or maybe more accurately, somewhat functional. In all of my brilliance, which is on full display in this video, I was trying to keep the channel running, and the best part is we hid this from you guys the entire time. Nobody had any idea what was going on because there were no indications in any of our videos. Me trying to keep the channel alive explains some of my questionable decisions on the order of how this was all put together. The last thing you'd typically do after everything else is done and before installing your equipment is make sure the flooring is set, because as you can imagine, working around equipment or moving heavy things around isn't exactly fun. It was my life for a few months though. Between every video, we'd rearrange stuff so we weren't in the way of the construction and so we could film. Which brings us to moving things around, which is a bit of a two-step process. Step one was get things out of the way so the flooring can go in. This involves a lot of caveman power. That is, pushing and pulling stuff into position. But I'm not always as dumb as I typically look on camera, and I wasn't going to be able to muscle my way through moving Rogue's single or twin stack, so we rented pallet jacks and just jacked them up and rolled them to where we wanted them. Even Winnie helped by standing in the way of the camera. Now the real fun begins. This is where you start seeing the finishing touches. And while the whole thing was fun to plan out and watch, this is where it gets really exciting. As you can probably tell, it can be hard to find reliable and skilled workers, which was a lesson that really got beaten into our heads throughout this whole thing. Don't worry, we'll be back on that roller coaster soon enough, but we hit the jackpot with the flooring. The guys from M&M Flooring in Connecticut prepped the floors, making sure they were perfectly level and clean. They measured, cut, and rolled the flooring out, making sure everything was perfect because this isn't a straightforward job. You've got bump outs from the old garage to the new section. You're meshing two different floors. Originally, I wanted to do everything myself because that's what I've always done, but I would have never come close to the craftsmanship of these two. I cannot imagine the stress I would have gone through gluing these down, making sure every seam was invisible, and dealing with that annoying guy who wanted to film everything. This floor and turf looks incredible. It's sold exclusively by Freedom Fitness Equipment and manufactured by a company named Hammerclad in the United States. They make all kinds of different styles, from tiles to mats to rolls in various colors, and the best part is, code Gluck saves you 5% on everything over there. We researched for months. Really, we've been thinking about this for years, and we finally settled on them, and I could not be happier. There's a lot that went into this decision, from checking out tons of companies' options, even down to the glue we used. If you want to see a full gym flooring breakdown, let us know, because we've spent hundreds of hours collecting and checking out dozens of companies. After the flooring was in, we moved the racks into place because the storage wall had to be built, and we literally didn't have a driveway to be able to roll them out the back and then in through the front doors. Then it was sheetrock time, so we covered everything in hopes cleanup would be as painless as possible. Luckily, sheetrock went off without a hitch, except for when the guys that hung the sheetrock saw the gym equipment and tried to triple their prices. True story, and not the only time that happened during this project. So, a few delays later, we got someone else to come in and finish the job, and there was no dust, and the whole process was super clean. Actually, outside of that one spot where I watched a grown man throw a hissy fit and tear down the plastic, it went well. And for the first time ever, that grown man wasn't me. At this point, though, I gotta say I wouldn't have expected anything else during this project. All that was left was to paint, and 637 other little finishing touches, but at least everything now is dependent on us. We did enlist the help of a professional for painting, so that at least went well, and he did such a great job, we brought him back in for cleanup. Which brings us to this, our garage gym where Winnie and I do all of the equipment testing, reviews, it's where we work out, and it's where we're raising our family. This is the dream that you helped create. So if you want anything reviewed or have any crazy ideas, I know a guy who's crazy enough to try to pull them off. So let us know. Thanks to our Patreons, and thanks for watching.